Okay, here's a quick list of charts that we'll be watching in the chat room at greatstockpicks.com on Monday. We always try to pick stocks that at least average 1 million shares a day, so we don't have any of that low volume, low float nonsense going on. And then we try to pick stocks that are in interesting areas or recent interesting volume. There's in a nutshell there. Okay, ARMH has bounced off of and had nice support at 25. Bounced off of it here, and then here again a few days ago. The only reason I circled this area is because look, after it gapped down here, sold off, then it had just a few days of kind of goofy action, right? With maybe a little bit higher each day, and then finally took off. Does that mean it's going to repeat on Monday? No, but I think it's worth watching. I think you could make the argument that this hit 25 and held pretty well. Gapped up huge the next day. They sold it off. Gapped down and they bought it a little bit, right? And then gapped up right till right up into the highs after the gap down. All right, so and a fairly narrow range. So this one could bust to the upside. I think it's worth watching on Monday. BHI, nice volume here last week, and then kind of flagging since then. That one's on watch. CHK, not exactly a pretty chart, but possible double bottom. Great volume recently, kind of a bottoming tail there. So it looks like a possible double bottom. Probably a lot of shorts in it, worth watching. Ciena, C-I-E-N, 15 area was resistance back here, right? Support here, and it's back down in this area again. So we'll be watching the 15 area for a low risk, long intraday setup. Now keep in mind, most of our stocks that we trade on an intraday basis, we find as the morning progresses, okay? But I like to start the list. I like to start the trading session with a list of potential stocks. Okay, so continuing here, let's go to the next one. MDRX. I got a few charts to show you here just because it's kind of interesting. Huge gap down here, massive volume, okay? So there's the daily. Why is this on watch? Well, because of that. We might get some action on Monday following that huge gap down. You can see it closed near its highs of the day. This is a weekly chart of MDRX. So support way back here at the $10 area, resistance back here, and then the huge gap down on the weekly. You can't see the gap. It just looks like a solid sell-off. But then let's go to the intraday 15-minute candles on Friday. Look how nice of a, after the sell-off, had you been aware, and believe me, I'm not using this video to claim I called this in chat. I didn't see it, but just in back testing this weekend looking at charts, and I saw that weekly and saw that beautiful $10 area that it gapped down to. Had I gone out and looked at the weekly where it was resistance back here, support here, significant area, okay? So then had I watched it on an intraday basis, a nice long lunchtime base. Look what happens when it breaks out of that base. I don't even know what the price was. It looks like it was around, I don't know, 930, 940 maybe. You could have bought the, could have bought the break. That's not easy to say. Bought the break of that base and put a stop below that base, and it ended up going up a buck from there. So there's an example of on a huge gap. Go way back on the chart and see if there's a significant area. $10 certainly was significant. Spent the whole morning below 10, but gave a pretty good low risk entry. Unfortunately, hindsight for me, and I didn't get a trade on it. But real quick, back to the daily. I think this 87 million shares deserves to be watched on Monday. Let's go back through those charts. Okay, the next daily one, MXIM. Nice volume on Friday and basically just a breakout. Now, we teach our members certainly not to chase, but this may give a low risk intraday setup on Monday. Deserves to be on a chart. NBR, big volume gap up. Looks like it would have been last Wednesday. A couple red days since. Darn it, I don't have this. I've taken screenshots, so I can't go back and show you. But you can see right here, even using daily, you can see the support at 16. It's got a long base there. After the gap up, it's come down near these recent highs from about a week before that. So that one's worth watching, in my opinion, as a potential long on Monday. NFX, kind of the same deal. NFX, big volume breakout on Wednesday, and then sideways for a couple days. Worth watching for another move higher. WAG, Walgreens, big volume breakout here. Does have some problems with this $36 area, but after the big volume push, nice little flag, worth watching. And to be honest, that's it. That's the list that I'm starting with for our chat room for Monday. to be honest, I'm not happy that it's as big as it is. I would rather have 2 or 3 that I can watch, and then when we find unusual relative volume stocks Monday morning, we build a list from there too. Because those, I'd rather play those than some of these, because we might get a gap down on Monday or a gap up on Monday and negate a lot of the setups that I've just shown you. But a stock, call it XYZ, getting unusual volume on Monday morning, breaking out, then we get a good chance to play what we call recent passion, right? If we get passion first thing Monday morning, that first pullback could offer our members a really good buying opportunity. And something like that just cranks out of the box on Monday morning would have more passion than, say, Walgreens, because it's flagging on the daily. But having said that, it's always good to have a list of stocks to start with and then add as the day unfolds. All right, I'm not going to babble any further. We'll talk to you guys later.